Okay, so we're going to talk about the review that we've learnt, and that's the future simple. So when we need to talk about what we will do in the future, we're going to be using the future simple. And to make a negative, we say won't. And also we can ask questions like, will you come to the party? Will you travel next year? So let's look at the future simple, which is just the basic way to talk about an action, something that you are doing, maybe tomorrow, next week, next year, in the future. And also let's talk about the definite article, the, which is really important because in English, we have rules that some nouns you need to put the, and then some nouns you don't. So how do we know? So let's do that today, making sure that we understand the grammar for the future simple and for the definite article, the. So before, let's recap some notes. Let's look at the rules again of how do we use the future simple. So we know the future simple. I'm going to tell you about a point in time in the future. So I'm speaking now in the moment, but it's about an action that's in the future. So to make this sentence, first of all, it's interesting because we can put a time expression at the beginning. We can say tomorrow. We can say next year, next week, on Saturday, next month. That's a time phrase, a time expression. It tells me when is the action. Then I put a subject, and we know the subject, I, you, he, she, it, we, they. And then we say will, and then verb. So if you look at the verb, there's no ed, there's no ing, there's no s. It's just subject, will, verb. So for example, I will see you tomorrow. I will study this weekend. I will travel next week. I will work on Friday. Okay, and as I said, you can put the time in the beginning if you want. So next week, I will travel. So to make a negative sentence, then we need to add this word not, and we add it after the subject. So you can say will not, or you can say won't. So I won't see you on the weekend. I won't travel next month. I won't work on Friday. Now we can also make a question, and remember with our question, always start with the verb. So will, subject, verb. So usually you're asking someone, so you're saying, will you work on the weekend? Will you buy a ticket online? Will you travel next year? Okay, so that was just some rules for the future simple, saying an action, an activity in the future, some point in time in the future. So let's do some exercises together. I think, now remember, if we want to say I think, it's like saying I'm not sure. So for number one, there's a conversation. I think will. So we can have the subject, we, and the verb will, and it becomes, I think we'll live on the moon in the future. So I think we're putting this phrase before the subject and the will. I think we'll live on the moon next year. Okay, so pretty simple sentence. Now, when I add I think, it's like saying, this is my thoughts. This is what I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but in the future, I think we'll live on the moon. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. So we can add that bit of I think to it before the subject and the verb. Number B, the person responds, no, we won't. It's impossible. So as a negative response, no, we won't. Won't. No, we won't. As a question, will the earth get warmer? So will the earth get warmer? So it's a question. So as I said, with the question, we start with the verb. So will, and then the subject, the verb, get warmer. It depends. It will in some countries. So we have a subject, it will in some countries. Okay, subject, verb, pretty simple. It will in some countries. But it won't. It won't in others. Negative. It won't in other countries. Will deserts get larger? So question, because it starts with the verb. Will deserts get larger? And we know it's a question, so we add that question mark. Will deserts get larger? Yes, I think they will. So always when you respond to a will question, you need to say yes or no first. And as you can see here, yes, I think, and then subject, they will. So you don't need to repeat the action. Yes, I think they will. No, I think they won't. Okay, let's talk about the definite article, the. So it's called the definite article, and it's the word the. So sometimes we need to use this with some nouns, and sometimes we don't use it with nouns. So how do I know when to use it? We talked about some rules with some words that to do with the world, to do with the earth. So do we say the Polynesian Islands or no, just Polynesian Islands? So if you have an island, you need to say the and then the name of the island. So with any islands, you need to say the Polynesian Islands, the Canary Islands. Okay, so any noun that has the word island, you need to say the. Now, Michigan is a city. So with a city, you do not need to put the. So I'm not going to put the, and I'm just going to say the name of the city. So it looks like this. You just say Adelaide. I live in Adelaide. Tomorrow I will travel to Melbourne. So you don't say the Melbourne, the Adelaide. You don't need the definite article when you have a city. The Atlantic Ocean. Yes, so when we have an ocean, we need to say the and then the name of the ocean. Okay, so it could be the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean. I need to say the when I'm talking about an ocean. The Atlas Mountains. So yes, because the mountains is plural, the names of it. So when you have a mountain, but it has an S, so the name of the mountain has the word mountains in it, we need to say the. if you remember the Maroon Mountains, the Atlas Mountains, so I need to say the. Now, if I have a continent, Africa, do I need to say the Africa? No. Okay, so when you have a continent, so as we know, we have, I think it's like 5 continents in the world. You don't need to say the. Okay, you just say, I live in Australia. I want to go to Asia someday. You don't say the Asia, the Australia, the Africa. You just say the name of the continent. Asia has so many countries. Africa is a huge continent. The Yangtze River. So when we talk about a river, we do need to say the. So it could be the Amazon River, the River Nile. Any river that I want to talk about, I need to say its correct name with the definite article. I need to say the and then river. Now, if we have a mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro. So I can see that with this mountain, it's singular. So I'm just going to put like this, singular. I don't say the. Okay, so really important, no, the. So if you have a look, the one that had the S, yes, I need to say the. Okay, so we say the ocean. We use it for the mountains with an S. We use it when we talk about rivers, but also with singular mountains, we don't. And if we have countries that have the words united in them, so the United States of America, then yes, we need to say the. So anytime it has united, whatever that country is, the name of it, the United States of America, the United Arab Emirates, I need to say the, because it has this word in it, united. So it's a country, a name of a country, but it has the word united in it. Okay, so now we can talk about the future. We're able to make predictions. We're able to say what we think will happen, because I'm not sure, but I think something will happen, but also just give, information about our actions. What will happen in the future? What will I do on Saturday? What will I do next week? And with its negative, won't, and the question will. And now we're able to use the definite article or no definite article. The definite article is the word the. I know when to use it, and I know when not to use it. Okay, so if you remember, we have some measurements that we were looking at. So some measurements were really important to look at. For example, we're going to read, but just before we read, let's talk about some of these measurements, these units. So this one here is called square kilometers. And it's because I want to measure like how much land. Okay, so your home, how much square kilometers? When we're talking about the size of the land, we say square kilometers. When I'm talking about the temperature, I say degrees Celsius. Okay, degrees Celsius. This is the symbol, degrees Celsius. And this is how I say it. So I say a number first. So today is 20 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow will be 25 degrees Celsius. Now remember, in America, they say Fahrenheit, but in Australia, we use Celsius. And we're talking about temperature. How hot is it? How cold is it? So this one tells us if something is hot or cold, the temperature. Now this one, kilograms. So kilograms is when we talk about the weight of something. So for example, I need 5 kilograms of bananas. So when I'm talking about how heavy something is, I weigh 50 kilograms. Now again, in America, they use a different measurement. They say pounds and stone. Very different. We say kilograms in Australia. This one is meters. Meters. And meters is used because I want to say how far this point is to that far. So, you know, for example, you know, I want to run 50 meters. Or, you know, my house is, you know, 100 meters from the shop or something. Okay, so I'm talking about from this point to another point, how far is it? Meters. Now again, in USA, they use a different measurement. They use miles, okay? We say in Australia, meters. Percent. So percent is used when we are saying something out of 100. So you'll know from your test, how much did you get on your test? I got 80%. Or how many people are in class today? 100%, for example. Or how many, you know, what's the population of multicultural people in Australia? Whatever, 40%. Okay, so out of 100%, it's a score, it's a grade. Okay, so let's read this little paragraph about a place called Easter Island. And we want to use these measurements, okay? Because when you're talking about a place, usually you give details about it by talking about measurements. So Easter Island, if you want, you can repeat after me. Easter Island, is in the southeastern Pacific Ocean, and its area is 163 square kilometers. Okay, so can you see that that is how big this island is? 163 square kilometers. The climate is warm with an average temperature of about 20 degrees Celsius. So we say the number first, 20, and then you say the word degrees, which is like this symbol, Celsius. So 20 degrees Celsius. The island is famous for 887 statues called Mawai. I don't know how to pronounce that. The largest Mawai weighs 74,389 kilograms. Okay, so we know we're talking about its weight. So we need to say kilograms. And it's 8.9, sorry, 9.8 meters tall. Now, meters, you can see that it's attached to the number, the same as this one. And even kilometers. So if you want, you can attach it directly to the number. Okay, you don't have to put a space. So 9.8 meters tall. 3,790 people live on the island. 60%. So 60% of the population are Rapa Nui. The ancestors of this people built the Maui. Okay, so we could see we talked about a place, the Easter Island, and we talked about the temperature. We talked about this distance. We talked about a statue and how high the statue was and how much percent of people, the population. Okay, so that's how we use these measurements and why it's important. So it's really important that we can talk and that even we can ask questions about measurements. So for example, I can say, what is the temperature in your city at the moment? Or what is the population of people in your city? How tall are you? You know, how much do you weigh? Sorry, the kilograms. How much do you weigh? So really important, not just talking about a place, but you could use it in asking questions about a place or people. You know, these measurements can also be about people. Okay, we then looked at some words like big, tall, big, many, and warm. So because we were looking at questions with how. So if you remember, how is a way that I can use to ask a question. So it depends what I want to know. So for example, in the first one, so this is how questions. Okay, let's have a look at the first one. The first one is, how big is Easter Island? Okay, so it's a question. Make sure you got a question mark. How big? So I want to know, is it a small island? Is it a big island? Or you can give me the exact measurement. How big is Easter Island? How warm? That's how we ask a question about the temperature. So how warm is the climate? So how warm is the temperature? We know in Easter Island, we read it before, the average temperature is about 20 degrees. So I can ask, how warm is the climate in Easter Island? It is 20 degrees. How tall? How tall is the largest Maui? Okay, or how tall is the largest statue in the world? Or how tall is your sister? Or how tall are you? So I need to talk about height, measurement. How many? So this is about a number. How many people live on the island? Okay, or how many people live in your country? How many people are in your family? So I need to know a number. Okay, so these were how questions. One of the ways that we can ask a question, and you can see some of them are to do with measurements, like the temperature, the climate, you know, the height of something, the weight of something, the percent of something. So I need to say how when I want to know this information. Let's choose some of these vocabs to do with the world. So we had earth vocab. Okay, it just means like, words to do with the world, vocabulary. So I'm from Italy, and my family always spends the summer by the Mediterranean Sea. So we know we have Mediterranean Sea, one of the seas in the world. Mediterranean Sea. Okay, beautiful, beautiful sea, Mediterranean Sea. And many countries will be near this sea. The river Amazon So we know this river, or the Amazon River. So you can either say the river Amazon or the Amazon River, which is in Latin America, travels through 6 countries. So this is an amazing river. I hope to see it someday. So it's in Latin America, it's in the south of America, and this river travels through 6 countries. Greenland is the largest island in the world. So an island is surrounded all by water. We all think they are cold places, but the Arctic and the Antarctica and the Arctic and the Antarctic are also deserts. So on top of the world and at the bottom of the world, these places are deserts. So you would think because it's so cold and there's ice, we always imagine a desert to be very dry, but these places are actually deserts. Okay, so now we've got earth vocabulary. We know how to talk about areas of land and areas of water, because we know land, mountain. What else do we have we know countries, that's all land. And then water, we have oceans, we have rivers, we have lagoons. You've got so many other types of small body of water, freshwater body. Okay, so that's some earth vocabulary. So let's have a look at some sentences. We're going to cross off. Do we need some of these words? Let's look at the mistake. In the first sentence, it says, if you remember, we did presentations in the lessons before where we were talking about an important event. And, we were talking about how do we say hi to everyone, present. We say, good morning, everyone. Welcome today to my, talk, to my presentation. So when we say good morning, we don't say good morning, you. So we just say good morning. You don't need to put, you can say not you, but you can say good morning, everyone, if you want. Good morning, all. Okay, you can use these words, but you can't say good morning, you. You just say good morning, everyone, good morning, all. Very common to say more, everyone. Or hi, everyone, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so these were some of our presentation skills. So how can we properly give a presentation? So good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. So that's always very nice to welcome everyone and then just say thank you for coming, or you can say that at the end. So thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for listening. Now it's always nice to say who you are. So my name's for example, Eva. And I'm from, now remember, when we talk about countries, we don't need the definite article. So we don't say the Germany. Okay, we don't say the word the when we talk about countries. So my name's Eva and I'm from Germany. So never use the word the before a country. Today, so it's always nice to say, just let people know, what are you doing? Give them just a very quick intention. Why are you here? But not details about the topic, just what is the topic? So today, I'm going to talk about whatever topic. So we're using here the present continuous because it's an action that I'm still doing. So I'm going. We've got the subject, I, and this is the verb am, which comes from the verb to be. So I am going to talk about, Valentine's Day. I'm going to talk about the history of Australia. I'm going to talk about my family. So this is how we say it. This is a very good word, about, and then say the topic. I'm going to talk about topic. First of all, no, that's okay. They said to me, I said I was going to come see you. Yes. Yes.
So you was written there that it was
Yes, on the event. Yeah, yeah. But the library opens till 8, which is good. So we're get them to read a book and tell us a bit about it. I'm going to do some activity like that, like go pick up a book because it's a library, or recap what what you heard, or speak to the presenters. Yeah. Do you want to come?
Actually the problem is I won't go this time.
Yeah, that's okay.
Even after
That's hard to level.
Yeah, we better
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So they want to know.
Yeah. Okay. More activity.
For they want
Yeah.
even one student.
But this one's good because I'm going to get them to ask the speakers. We did that when we had an art one. They had to go up to the art people and speak to them. So that's why I take opportunities of when there's a presentation, because it forces them to go and talk. Yeah. But I'll look for something more like that.
Yeah, my student. So I don't know if it was a group of people that
Yes, I did that one time. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, he's such a he is honestly always yes. He is such a gentleman. I always say. Come be a student today. Come sit in. They can hear natural conversation. Okay. This is an example of
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I'll look up that one again. I have the link for it because I remember taking them to one, that's the one they're talking to. That was perfect because they got to mingle and name tags and just mingle. Okay, let me look at that one. When's the next event? Because that was perfect. It was just here, literally like next.
Even
yeah.
The time is perfect. I looked at some of them. And the time is perfect.
Good. Send them in the thing, and we'll do it for June. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much for this.
No, that's. I know it's so quiet without you. I always miss like when we had our. I know. Yeah.
I see is like
dead. I know. Yes.
So
don't worry, we'll find something. Yeah.
I was thinking in mind that if I take you to the wrong place, you'll just complain in the class that
And then they
teacher
won't want to come the next. They'll get put off. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, so
Okay.
they're going to say that even in the movies,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
The movies the other day, my students were like, you know, a quiet place. I know there was nothing, no outside stage, but still it was a good movie. The other day, more than half of my students left, and they said that is it going to be a quiet? So I said, yeah.
I know, it needs to be a comedy, fun, light.
Oh, this
You know?
yesterday's movie was very nice.
Good.
They didn't even watch the movie. You know, half of them left during the break time.
Ah, before. That's why we didn't
Because
see
of the
many
previous
leave.
movie.
Yes,
Because of the
see, it
previous
put
one.
them off. Yes. Okay, so really careful with options. Now that we can have a charged one, it should be, yes. Yeah, they want something very entertaining, exciting, fun. Okay. Yeah.
That's why I am very.
Yes.
But I don't have a problem with
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that's okay. I'll see you, Martin. But thank you for telling me. I'll see you soon. See you tomorrow. Okay, let's go back to what we were talking about. Thank you, Henry. That was very, very sweet. Yes. Yeah, very kind, very thoughtful. See? Yes. Because so we were talking about presentation skills. So remember, we are giving a presentation about something. So we got up to this part. Today, I'm going to talk about another topic. Then, first of all, that's when I want to talk about the first point. So first of all, the company, for example, began in 1965. Okay, so this is very specific. Now, how did I know not to use has? First of all, we haven't done this. This is called the present perfect. And we don't need to use the present perfect here because this action is already finished. So we need to go subject, past simple. Okay, so this was using the past simple for a finished action. Because if something began, like we talked about the university was founded in 1965. We don't need the has because it's not still, it started in the past, but continuing until now. We don't need the present perfect. We need the past simple. And all you do, you have the subject, verb. The company began. Yesterday I worked. Last night we walked, whatever. So we don't need this grammar tense. We need the past simple. In conclusion, so we know when we're talking about the last point, you can say in conclusion. Now, in conclusion is more for writing. It's very formal, you know, for writing. But if you were having a conversation, you'd say, you know, finally is a good word. So I don't really like in conclusion. I think it's a bit, like I said, for writing. But if you were speaking, you would say, so finally, I think the company will grow in the future. So remember, we have subject, the company, and then we have will, and then the verb. You don't need to here because we know we don't put anything. We put will, verb. Tomorrow, I will see you. Next week, I will travel. Okay? But we don't need to verb. It's just will, verb. And of course, at the end, you say, thank you for listening. Thank you very much for listening. So thank you very much for, you don't say you're listening. You just say, thank you very much for listening. Okay, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much. This was how we ended. Okay, so now we know how to give a presentation. Remember, when you give a presentation, keep the English very simple. It's not meant to be like you're writing. It's meant to be very casual. And, you know, you give details about your topic in the beginning. But in the beginning, sorry, in the middle, but in the beginning, you say good morning, you say hi. You introduce yourself. Introduce yourself. Where are you from? Maybe from your country or from a course. You need to go? Yes, that's okay. Yeah. See you. I know. And don't forget tomorrow test unit 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, 12. It's a hard one, but study. Yeah. That's okay. Have a good night. See you. See you tomorrow. Okay, so that's all that we had. Again, it was let's look at the review again. The future simple, make sure you know why you need to use the future simple and how to create a positive sentence, how to create a negative sentence, and how to make a question. Okay. For example, we still have some time. Curly, tell me a positive future simple sentence. Give me a future simple sentence. Like, I will work tomorrow. I will play basketball on the weekend. What's your sentence? Just anything. I will. Yeah. I will catch the bus now. I will go home now. Yes. So yeah, so make sure subject, will, verb. I will go, I will catch the bus, I will go home. Yeah. Now a negative, I won't. I won't. I won't. I won't eat now. I won't eat now. Yeah, okay. So I won't eat now because I need to go or something. Yeah. Question. Ask a question for the future. So for example, will you come to class tomorrow? Or what's your question? Yeah, or you? Do you have a question with will? Like, will you work tomorrow? Will you come to class tomorrow? Will you travel next week? Or will you travel soon? Yeah. Will I do a test tomorrow? Will you? Yeah. Will I have a test tomorrow? Yeah. So you're not making a positive sentence. I will have a test tomorrow. You're asking a question. Will I have a test tomorrow? Yeah. Okay, good. So that was the future simple. Then don't remember the definite article, when to use it and when not. You have all the rules in the last lesson. And don't forget your measurements. Measurements. Okay, square kilometers, degrees Celsius, kilograms, meters, percent. Don't forget your how questions. I'm asking how about the measurement. Earth vocab and presentation skills. Now we can talk about a topic. Okay, so I will, no worries, Eloise. I will see you tomorrow. I hope. Okay, for the test. So have a good night. And Yana, see you soon because you have to do the test. I hope you come tomorrow. You have 2 tests. But that's all we had for today's class. So yes, good. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a good night and study. Ready for, the next class. We'll be going back to introducing ourselves and talking about our families and ourselves and all of that. So that's all next lesson, introducing ourselves. Bye, Anna. See you then.